is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And welcome to a Victory Monday edition of Mick Shots. Mickey, can you sing Happy Days Are Here Again?
I don't sing, okay?
Good. I'm glad you don't. And welcome to Mick Shots. Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola after a 20-17 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. Mickey is working on how much sleep?
I think I pieced together an hour and a half on the plane and then got home and maybe another hour and a half.
Well, it happened.
So 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice power nap.
What do you need, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
a nice
right.
power nap until you fall out later.
Yeah, that's when somebody said, how you doing? I go, ask me at 3 o'clock.
Mickey, you picked the Cowboys to win, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. What was the score?
31-30.
31-point win.
Yeah.
I picked the Cowboys to win, if you recall.
Yes,
on
I
a
do.
Greg Zuerlein field goal.
Yes, you did.
How about Everson?
I am disappointed. I want to challenge this game. I want to
Challenge the outcome.
Now, here's the deal.
The results of the game.
Here's the deal. Everson is going to pick against the Cowboys the rest of the season.
No, I'm
because
not doing that.
Because it's work. You have to keep picking against them, right? Okay?
No,
If
no,
it's going to
no,
have
no.
these kind of results, then Everson's got to pick against the Cowboys on Friday.
I tell you what, I was so happy. Of course, I'm pulling for them the entire time, but golly, man, this is not working out well. I need the 0-2. I need the 0-2 to work out so that all of my stuff can come into fruition. So 1-1 now, I got to refigure things.
You could have been right there on the NFL Network show.
Yeah, everybody else picked against
They all
them.
picked
Yeah,
against
tell
the
us about
Cowboys.
that. So Jerry made an appearance just minutes away from his birthplace in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium
A mile
on
and a
Sunday.
half. They found the house, too. They had a picture of it.
I saw that. Yeah.
A little overly done, I thought.
What, the house?
No, I mean.
Oh, the fact that he was born there?
I mean, come
Well, who
on.
knew? They all knew he was
Hey,
from Arkansas,
this is
right?
You could tell me I don't need to have a pictorial. You know what I mean? I don't need to
Get
see where
ready, because the story's going to repeat itself
Oh,
in February
my goodness.
when
That's
the
right.
Cowboys
We'll go right
They're
back.
going
That's
back,
exactly
and we're
right.
going to
See,
do.
now that's when I want to see it.
We're going to do
That's
a
when-
podcast.
That's when I
That's
want to
when
see
you
it.
break the news
That's
that he was
right.
born right
That's
here in the
right.
backyard of SoFi Stadium.
So the NFL Network offices are right across the street from SoFi Stadium, and it's a pretty neat building. And so they've got so he did like a segment. I believe it was 9:30 local time. Did a segment on there with Michael, and then when they go out on the field, he went out there for the picks, right? And so they were all apologizing, right? But they all took the charges until they get to Michael, right? And he's got that goofy wolf thing, the lone wolf hat that he puts on.
That's his Lee Corso.
He was getting ready. He was getting ready.
impersonation.
He was getting ready to put it on Jerry, and Jerry backed off and goes, "Does that thing bite?" And,
Right.
and it's like,
Might have COVID in it or something. Yeah.
And so he was like, "Y'all don't know what you're doing, right?" Well, the funny thing is, so they finished, and there's a fence around that field. Well, somehow, some way, Cowboy fans knew he was on there, and they were lined up on the fence. And this was before noon, so it was 3 hours, 3.5 hours before kickoff, and they were all lined up there, cheering and yelling, and he went around and fist bumped everybody right down the fence. I said, just like Jerry, right?
Yeah, bro.
And that gave me the idea that the Cowboys were going to have home field advantage in that stadium.
It's no doubt. I knew that before we got there. We talked about the state of California having probably more registered Cowboy fans than any other state except for Texas. Was not surprised at all. When we kicked the winning field goal, It was like a home game.
Place went crazy.
It was like a home game.
So, Mickey, you were there. What was the percentage? Cowboys fans versus Chargers fans?
To me, it might have been more than 50-50.
And you count the celebrities, they have more. That goes towards 2 votes right there.
Right.
One celebrity worth 2 regular people. And yeah, all the celebrities, Cowboy fans. It's not just LeBron.
It was a pretty blue-looking crowd. They all had their Cowboy blue jerseys.
A lot of Dak jerseys.
And I think the bottom line was. Zach Martin pointed out that they never had to go silent count. He said, but I think I saw the Chargers going silent count in their own stadium, right? And then afterwards, after the game, and this would have been at least an hour or so after the game, the Cowboys, where their locker room was, they had to walk the length of the field to get to where the buses is, sort of like you had to do at the Superdome in New Orleans. And there were still Cowboy fans in the bunker suites, almost all the way down, right? And I was walking out with Dak and Rich Dalrymple, and they were going crazy, yelling and screaming for him. And the funniest thing was we got to the end, and up in the stands, all the workers, they were cheering for Dak. The workers at SoFi were cheering for Dak.
Was it Mick?
Yeah, no. I made sure I got out of the way so they could have their day.
It reminds me of when we first built Jerry's World at AT&T Stadium. A few teams came in there and whooped our butts. And they had such a great time coming to that beautiful stadium. First of all, they want to see it. And to have victory there, it just gives you a little bit more of a satisfaction, right? And so that's kind of what we felt yesterday.
And
a little bit more satisfaction.
The stadium, by the way, is spectacular.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
It looked, in some of the shots on television, especially the ground level shots, it didn't look real. It looked fake to me.
Right.
It looked like a fake background.
Like somebody did some
like
fancy video game.
Yeah.
And it's neat because it's an open-air stadium, but it's got the transparent roof on it, right? So the light comes in. If it's breezy, the breeze comes in.
And I think that's the reason, because the lighting is so good in there that it didn't look real. It looked like a video game.
And it was. And then I found out that the field was 100 feet below ground. So basically, what you see when you're walking there is the top of the stadium, and that's just about it. And the rest of it's all in the ground. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool place, pretty cool scene, and a pretty cool ending for the Cowboys that I think they were quite fortunate to be able. It's really weird. They should have won last week, and they didn't. They might have should have lost this one, and they
I tell people it balances out all the time. I don't care if we complain about bad calls. I don't care if we complain about bad plays. It just balances out when it all said and done. You could say that we could have or not won several games, not last year, but the year before that.
Right.
So, I mean, you start talking about the different penalties and, Brady only threw 1 interception. He really didn't throw 2 interceptions. It really doesn't matter which game and all the stats. It all comes down to you have to make your plays regardless of what the calls are. And I as much as I'm still going to really have some problems with the officiating, which was especially uneven yesterday. I thought they were pretty bad. I thought even some of the plays, the calls they made for us.
There were calls that were ticky-tack.
That's what I mean.
And then there were some that were obvious that they didn't throw a flag on. Like the interference on the third down play on Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy dove in. It's like, he dove right through his back.
Right. First of all, he grabbed him
to make sure
he had his
turn.
arm. That's why he couldn't catch the ball.
Right. But anyway, when it was halftime, I'm sitting there. Cowboys are up 14-11, and I'm going, okay, they dominated this first half,
and
they're only up by 3 points.
Right.
And if you looked at the yardage, it was 273 to 199. The Cowboys had rushed for 96, I think it was, and the Chargers 45.
And the first downs in the first
for
quarter,
13.
Yeah, that's a record,
franchise record.
Yeah.
And tied an NFL record for first downs in a quarter. And here they are. It's only 14-11. So, but a win is a win.
Two different halves,
right?
It was 2 different halves.
Yeah,
especially possession-wise.
And there wasn't any possessions. They each had 8. It's like you're usually getting 12, 13, somewhere around there. So, yeah, it was a strange game, and I don't know where you want to go. I got like half a dozen Mick shots for you.
I bet you do. I'll bet you
Do you want to start off with one Mick shot?
It was.
Okay, we got a Mick shot right off the bat here.
Hold on.
Early.
Wait.
First quarter Mick shot.
Where's Chris?
The Cowboys' first win, scoring less than 30 points since Game 15 of 2018.
Wow.
The last previous 15 wins, they had scored 30 points and had never won a game scoring less.
Was that
And
New
now
Orleans?
20 to. It was. They beat Tampa Bay. The last time they had won one without scoring 30 was 27-20 Tampa Bay.
Okay.
So yeah, sometimes you got to win 20-17, right? And they hadn't been doing that because they always.
And you
got to
win close
30
games
points.
that are lower than
Right.
30-point games.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So what does that say?
the defense, and it's almost like everybody's applauding the defense, and I'm going, okay, but
They gave up like 450
they gave
yards.
up 400 and some yards, and 338 passing, and
16 in a row completions.
by the grace of God, 2 touchdowns got called back, and then he hit the upright on that field goal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they left 17 points easy on the field, and probably 21 because they're first and goal at the 2 on that drive that they ended up tying the game, the field goal at the end, and they get an illegal shift. Now it's first and goal at the 7, incompletion. And then I thought I was watching Bob Lilly out there, Parsons chasing Justin Herbert for an 18-yard sack.
Did you see how quickly he closed? Mm-hmm. And see, you just can't teach that. And you could see it when he came out of college. All the plays that they showed on him, he was closing quickly, and we commented on that before we even drafted him. When you make that kind of space disappear like that, the quarterback panics.
Yeah.
He thinks he has
Because
more
he's
time.
thinking he can back up.
Right.
I got
I'll be
this.
okay.
You don't even, it's going to be a situation where they already will, they're in their game plan and they got to figure out where number 11 is, okay? And when the beauty of it
We
going
just found
forward,
something. We just found something.
and we knew it
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
What we say when Lawrence got hurt?
Right.
First thing we said, they got to start rushing Parsons.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think everybody needs to understand is like, well, he's going to be the starting defensive end. No, he's not going to be the starting defensive end. He had 39 snaps, so 55% of the snaps. So they when they first put him out there like that, the Chargers had a target on him. It's like, well, run. I told you he was going to run at his little skinny ass, right? And then they started just putting him in more passing situations.
I think it had as much to do with, it takes a lot to exert that kind of effort on every play when you're rushing.
Well, let me say this. It started off, like you said, this skinny little ass was in trouble. But as the game wore on,
he wore them down, right?
You're
right.
His second half was amazing. And it wasn't just him.
Right.
You saw Dorrance getting some good work in. Everyone kind of followed suit after that. He created so much havoc. Their 300-plus yards passing, they were almost just like nickel and dimes. They reduced their passing game down to the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. And the closer they got to the end zone, the less effective they were.
You know what? I liken it to, and I think I tweeted it out at halftime. I know I tweeted it out at halftime. Even though Micah Parsons, I don't even know if he had was credited with a quarterback pressure in the first half, but just one. But in the first half.
Oh, first half. Sorry.
No, he got.
I don't even know what his stats were or anything. I just said he can be an elite pass rusher in this league. And it's almost like a great cornerback shutting down one side of the field because they have to know where he is.
All
and
the time.
even if he's not getting credited with a pressure or a sack or anything like that, just the mere fact his closing speed is so unreal with 4.35 speed and has quickness.
It's a factor to the offense.
Exactly. That quarterback has always got to be aware of this guy coming off the edge or up the middle or wherever, and it's going to affect them as far as getting the ball out.
You know, it's almost like, you know, when the quarterback goes to the line of scrimmage, he's identifying the middle linebacker. He's identifying 11's over there.
Right over there.
He had three hurries. The Cowboys had 5 in the first half. He had 3. Didn't have any tackles, but he was coming. And then at the end, when he did his press conference, he was complaining that, you know, we got to have more. He goes, I didn't do enough. Because what ended up happening is when he wasn't rushing the quarterback from defensive end, he wasn't playing any linebacker. They never put him back in linebacker.
And see, I think that they made the decision when Lawrence went down on Wednesday that they are just going to play him at defensive end because being his second NFL game, they didn't want to overload him just like with any rookie.
Right.
And so they don't. Now going forward, he is going to show that he can handle. He showed it right off the bat.
Yes.
He was calling the signals his first game in the NFL. He can handle it mentally, but they just wanted to make sure we're not going to overload his plate. It's his first time to play this position at this level, and he didn't play that position basically in college, although he did in high school. But okay, now going forward, he can handle this, he can handle that, and when you get your guys back, hopefully get Gregory back this week, and then 6 weeks from now, you get Lawrence back. You can use him. You can start him at linebacker, and then in passing situations, you can line him up off the edge. He's going to be able to handle the full dose.
Who's number 74 for Chargers? The backup tackle. Who was
Storm
Norton.
Norton. That's right. Norton. Yeah.
And Norton.
Norton was getting his butt kicked by Gleason. That's what was going on.
He probably was glad the game was over.
He was holding almost every play. And when you look at that Chargers offensive line, they remind me of the Raiders back in the day. Almost every play you could see someone being held. So we talk about the calls that were made. They missed a lot.
Oh.
There was one time Parsons came through. This is after some crap call they picked up or some call we got. And he's rushing through. He went outside. And just before the quarterback threw the ball, he was spun by 74. He literally grabbed him and spun him, and Parsons' hand, you could see quarterback's over here. He's trying to rush. The guy spun him like that, and you can see his hand going like that. You wouldn't make that kind of move unless someone just grabbed you, and you're trying to, of course, settle it with the referee. They did not call it. But I saw the Sunday night game. They called that same look in the Sunday night game. So it just lets you know. They just couldn't handle all the infractions that the Chargers were throwing at them.
And they ended up throwing. They were in double digits at halftime, weren't they?
It could have been more. Could have been more. Trust me.
So I think when Gregory gets back, then Gregory and Armstrong, I think they're good with that at defensive end. Then they could spot him at times, but he goes back and plays linebacker. And you were right. He said. Somebody asked him, when's the last time you played defensive end? It was high school. When did you know you were going to play defensive end? He goes, after practice on Wednesday. They called him in and said, okay, here's what we're doing. And got him as ready as possible. And, he was pretty ready. And you're right, his speed, it takes me back to training camp, that Hard Knocks line when Dak's watching him and he did some play where he was just so sudden. And Dak goes, I'll clean it up as good as I can. He said, damn, he's fast. But it wasn't damn, okay? And yeah.
That's about as clean as you can make it.
Yeah, right? I think I'd get away with that, right? So, yeah, he was amazing. And, he ended up finishing the game with, I think it was just like 3 tackles. But he has the sack. He had a tackle for a loss, 4 quarterback hits. So, yeah, he was a menace out there, and they still threw for 338 yards.
I think I saw your friends at Pro Football Focus had him as the number 2 rated pass rusher in the league.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with a 90-something grade.
Well,
and the only reason
maybe they got that right.
The only reason I felt like he could do well is because I can't think of the guy's name. Is it Freeney for the Colts?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And that's when y'all saw. He was kind of new, a guy that small but he's able to use it to his advantage. The big guys, that's what we're talking about. Same thing, make you laugh, make you cry. It's just hard for them to get down there to deal with somebody that's small and dynamic, of course. I figured it would work out in his favor, but I didn't know he would wear him down like the entire second half. That was a pleasant surprise.
And the thing about him, Parsons, is that he's not that small, but he's built low to the ground.
And that's the problem.
Exactly.
That's
right.
Problem.
And that's exactly who I would think of, because you think of these, especially a 4-3 defensive end, being a big, rangy guy.
D-Ware type of guy.
That's right, 6'4". And, he's more like a 6'2 guy who can get low to the ground, and he's so fast, He covers ground so
You don't
quickly.
realize-
Dogged determination.
And he's strong.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the length that you're looking for. To your point, as far as running at him, he doesn't have the length with his arms. I think it's 32-inch arms where he can't hold off a tackle.
That's very average.
Yeah,
He's just got to beat him with his first step and his speed.
But he's got strength. And
you don't realize how big he is because when he's around everybody else, 6'3" is okay. Well, I happened to step into the elevator when he was going up at the hotel on Saturday night, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty big.
He's a rock.
Yeah.
He's a rock.
And the other thing is,
he loves the game.
Exactly.
He loves to play.
He's got more want to
Yeah.
than about anybody that he'll come across.
We talked all week about worrying about Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
He stole the show from
He
Joey
sure
Bosa.
did. He sure did.
And I know
Bosa got tyrannized.
we got 20 minutes in, but the guy that surprised me was Terence Steele.
He was the unsung star of this game.
Now, they gave him some help, but not every play, right? The tight end was over there a little bit.
I think I saw him have one negative play.
He lost him one time. The running backs were chipping. There was one play where he had beaten Steele to the inside, and Pollard came across the formation and just lamb-blasted him. Just came out of nowhere and nailed him. But Steele, they left him out there several times to the point, at one point, they moved him over to the right side. And it's like, oh, you want to go against Tyron Smith? Okay, so let's see. And then
that did not work out well at all.
And then the second half, he wasn't an every down outside linebacker defensive end. They were spotting him in pass rush situations. So it was almost they reduced him to a part-time player. It was amazing.
Just to clear it up on Parsons, and he's 6'3" and 1/8", so he's actually taller than we were giving him credit for.
No, you said.
I said 6'3" and 1/8". All right, and his arm length is shorter than I gave him credit.
Oh no,
Is it really?
31.5-inch
Whoa.
arms, and so
Whoa.
that is why the scouts projected him as a linebacker and not as a defensive end,
right.
An edge rusher. Well, not so much an edge rusher, but being able to play defensive end because of the arm length more than anything. Got those 11-inch hands, though. You love those 11-inch hands, no matter what position you're playing. All right, we continue with more Mick shots in just a moment.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Head to AT&T Stadium on Sunday, September 26th to experience the first rally day of the season presented by SeatGeek. Get ready to cheer on your Dallas Cowboys with tours of AT&T Stadium, autographs from the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and Dallas Cowboys alumni there, Everson Walls.
Yes.
Ticket giveaways, games, inflatables, and more. Check out the brand new Miller Lighthouse and get excited for the kickoff on Monday.
Oh, damn.
Visit attstadium.com for tickets and more information.
I was going to say, we're all winning today. That's what I was going to say. We're all winning today. But
Presented by what?
SeatGeek. Isn't that what I said?
You said Zeet.
ZeatGeek?
ZeatGeek.
Or
Zeke.
Zeke.
Maybe Zeke bought him out.
Presented by ZeatGeek.
Yes. Yeah, I know that one.
All right. How about we go to the end of the game? We start at the very end of the game and what was going on with the clock management at the end of the game.
So I want to see if you guys were right there with me.
Okay.
So they ended up with the second down play, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ran the ball.
Tony Pollard.
And
a lookout block by C.D. Lamb.
Right.
I don't know what the hell that was. I think he just like, you know what? This guy's coming too fast. I'm going to let him go.
So
Don't get a hold.
30.
Don't get a hold.
I mean, he could have just shielded him off or something.
After
he jumped out of the way and then looked at the sidelines like, hey, you want me to block this guy?
So after the first down pass, 12 yards to Amari Cooper, it got him to the LA 45.
Can I interrupt, please, sir? Once again, what happened to Cooper?
They said it was a rib thing.
So he got clipped. Meaning
when he was making the move, I think, because I thought he got hit in the head.
I did too.
But they said it was a rib thing.
So
that cost him a timeout.
Yeah.
So it stopped the clock with 36 seconds to go, and so you guys were probably like me. Okay, let's make sure that you get another 10, 15 yards, but drain that clock, right? So the first play was the real quick out to Cedric Wilson, 4 yards, and he steps out of bounds. So that stopped the clock with 33 seconds left. They went 3 wide receivers, and Schultz flanked out. So it's 2nd and 6 at the 41, and they run Pollard for 3 yards. And I'm going, okay, that's going to take some time off the clock. So now it's 3rd and 3 at the 38.
One timeout left.
And my math is telling me that's a 56-yard field goal. You need to make this a little easier for Zerline, right? And they got 1 timeout left, so the clock's ticking, and I'm going, whoa, what are you doing? If you're not ready to snap the ball, at least call timeout, right? And then they
were gonna run a play.
So the intention was to run a play. They were going to run a play. They lost track of the clock. So here's what happened. They ended up with a personnel malfunction. Pollard was coming off the field, and he wasn't supposed to come off the field. So they had to shoo him back on. All right? And then in the meantime, for some reason, they were following the clock on their spectacular video board above. Well, that video board, after a play, they'll show a replay up there, right? So the score and the time goes away. And so then I think they kind of panicked, like, okay. And then I think when they saw the clock again, it was down to 17, and that's what they decided. Okay.
McCarthy said once it got under 17, it's almost like their policy, just take it on down.
Like
Kellen Moore.
It got under 17. It looked like they were trying to snap the ball. Dax looked like he's trying
I think they
call
told
an audible or something.
I think they told him let it run, kicking the field goal.
Crazy.
But they wanted. So he explained it at the top of his press conference. And then it was like, I don't know if he explained that well. So I said, can you do that again? Was your intention to run a play? And he goes, yes, we wanted to run a third.
Who said that?
McCarthy.
Okay.
Wanted to run a third down play. He goes, but we lost the clock. Well, so what you have to do in these, because I had to get used to it too, there's the ribbon board at the ends. And that one stays up there the whole time.
Course.
But the other ones disappear, right?
That's right.
And so somebody said, were the Chargers messing? I said, no, you got to know, because
that's one of the first
Dak
things.
was looking at the right one. He knew what was going on. And I think when they thought it'd get it under 17, it was like, okay.
So he's actually listening to them as when I'm thinking he's about to run a play.
Right.
So, but he can hear them.
And I think they cut it off with whatever the play clock was at. But since there was so little time left, the play clock was still going. So they just let it run out on purpose.
You know what I was looking at? Can you do an intentional grounding from shotgun? That's what I was hoping that.
I see what you're
saying.
saying.
If they did snap it, he could just,
Yeah.
Can you do that from shotgun?
I think you got to be under center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what made me nervous,
at
too.
other levels, you can do it from the shotgun.
Or you can do what
like high school.
What Brady did at
He
the
just
end of the
caught it,
game. He just threw it to the over the guy's
right.
head on the outside.
I know-
But you got to have somebody over there.
I know, like Texas high school, maybe even in college, you can now do it out of the shotgun.
Oh, really?
At first you couldn't, and then when everyone was going to the spread and the shotgun, they changed the rule to where you can. The other part of that is Kellen Moore was, I think he was relying on the ribbon,
Right.
that stays there,
Right.
And his vision got blocked by one of the
There was a
sideline
camera.
cameras, like the CBS has the roaming sideline camera, and it happened to
comedy of
block.
errors.
It happened to
Oh, my
block
God.
the clock at that point.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, that's the first thing I know when I'm doing a game as a broadcaster. I'm trying to figure out, okay, where's that permanent clock? And
Right.
coaches are like that too. But in this case,
Let's look at this, guys.
It took
Any other
me-
time, the Cowboys would have blown this.
It took me.
The fact that we didn't blow this,
right.
that says that's an improvement.
Well, here's
It
the-
took
Usually
me-
we
it
will
took-
just take this and blow it all
It
the way.
took me a good quarter to find the clock that had the thing up there the whole time, because they had some on the sideline, and that one would disappear. And so you got to have your advertising, right? By God, don't let us know what
You got to
time
pay
it
for the
is.
stadium, yeah.
Here's the way I look at it, though. Yes, you'd like to run a play. You'd like to run a good play and get 10 yards or whatever. But I do like the fact that once things were going haywire, they just decided to play a conservative play.
They didn't panic.
Calm it down. And they wanted to make sure that they had that timeout, a full timeout to use to get their kicker onto the field, and everything's calm, even if it is a 56. And it's definitely, as it was proven, it was definitely within his range to kick a 56
I feel good about it.
And if
I
you
feel
hit
real
it,
good
if you
about
hit it well, it's perfect playing conditions. If you hit it well,
And that's his
you're
that's
gonna-
his side
you're
of the, that's
gonna
his
make
side
it-
of the hash mark.
You're
right
going to
there.
make it from 56 just as you'd make it from 51 or
Right.
46, whatever. If
Yeah,
you-
and
if
it
you
wasn't
hit
worth
well.
the gamble for
Right.
we're going to get 5 more
I was
yards.
watching him in pregame in Tampa, and it was happened to be from 56 yards, and he was nailing them in Tampa.
And the one he missed,
Yeah.
and the one
Yeah.
he missed in Tampa, it was 60, and he just mishit it.
Here's the other thing to consider on that, okay, is, all right, you get a holding call.
Right.
You get a bad play, whatever, where you lose
Offsides.
yardage, and now you're out of field goal range. And, a false start, like, now
Or
you're back 5 yards.
Illegal shit.
that's why-
Randy White did that to us.
Yes,
in Cleveland.
remember that?
Yeah, I
Right.
do remember
So that's
that.
why you want to make sure everything's under control. And once it was getting away from them, the other part of it is it's a tie game.
Yeah.
At the very
Right.
worst,
That's right.
you
The
got
pressure
overtime.
is not-
It's not.
Right.
You're not trailing.
And you're right. The environment was sterile. No wind,
You got a home crowd.
And that's his hash line right there. That's
Right.
his side of the mark. Because you can get more power right? Coming around as opposed to trying to push it to the
and
right.
But that's what happened. And, I think everybody's like, oh, there they go, mismanaging the clock. Well, there was a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like the unintended consequences worked out for them, right?
And many times that does not work out for us.
No, and I like the whole approach on that drive, too. They had plenty of time to go
3:49 when it started.
When it started, but even when they got down to where in the 2-minute range, they were running the ball. They were
What did it remind you of? It reminded you of Tampa Bay against us. It's the exact same thing.
That's right.
And, and I felt just as comfortable as the Bucs fans felt when Brady took over.
So they ran the ball 7 of the 11 plays. 7 of 11.
Now the difference is,
and they were gaining yards now. Also, by the way,
now, the difference is Brady got them down to the 18-yard line. They're kicking 36-yard field goal.
And he spent 3 plays just throwing it into the stands.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, he got him down there with 45 seconds left.
But we didn't get a PI call, so that's all.
That's right. That's right. All right, we're up against another break here, and we're going to talk. How about we talk about a cornerback when we come back here on
and
2 DBs
and a running back.
2
okay,
DBs.
When we come back here on
2
Mick
DBs,
Shots.
2 running backs.
At Smoothie King, we are blending goodness to fuel your greatness. Every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses only whole fruits and organic veggies. You'll never find sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of our blends. Smoothie King is proud to be the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Place your order in the app or online for pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
Back to Mick Shots.
Check out the new Miller Lighthouse, located outside AT&T Stadium, where Dallas Cowboys game day traditions are born. Enjoy yard games, Dallas Cowboy cheerleader performances, beer gardens, and more. For more information, visit AT&TStadium.com/Miller Lighthouse. Miller Lighthouse, your tailgate just got jealous.
Yeah, good job.
How'd you like that read?
I like that
was
read,
good.
Man. That's an old read, though.
Yeah, it is.
He knows
It
that in
is.
his sleep.
Yeah.
Speaking of sleep,
3 o'clock, here we go.
That's why he was able to nail it. He's
I can't
doing it in
believe
his
that
sleep.
many people fly on that flight. It takes off at 12:51.
That's when I come back from
AM.
California. That's the flight I want to be on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we used to do when we were in the newspaper. Like training camp would break in Thousand Oaks. They'd play that last preseason game. We'd go and hang out at the Black Whale restaurant and then take the Red Eye back. The Black Whale was in Marina Del Rey.
Very many Cowboy fans on that red eye coming back?
It was pretty packed with Cowboy fans.
How many black whales have you seen?
I never understood why they called it that. But.
All right.
How many autographs did Mickey have to sign?
Yeah, right.
Flight?
Yeah, Mickey signed autographs.
No, so
pictures?
we ended up coming back to the hotel, and Dave Hellman and I worked in the lobby to write. And we were, but when we got there, we found some obscure places. Well, when everybody got back from the game, there were no more obscure places.
The whole place.
So we
is a
probably
party.
took about 5 pictures each, right?
Yeah, a party. It's a party now. Sure.
Cowboy fans were pretty fired up, let me tell you.
Mickey just couldn't get any work done. He can't go anywhere,
Must
not
be
even in
nice.
Southern
Must be
California
nice, I
without
tell
getting
you.
recognized.
It's all because of Mick.
Actually, my Uber driver from the airport figured out who I was.
God, we're famous.
Does he listen to the show?
We're next to the famous person.
He listens to the fan and
Famous
listens to the
adjacent.
podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. That's nice.
Okay, so you want to go with the cornerback or running back situation?
Well, I think the running back to start.
Tell me about it.
And I think we need to put it in perspective of what was going on, why they did it that way. And it goes back to what I said earlier about making those pass rushers play the run.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they figured out if we're going to make them play the run, we're going to hit them with speed to the outside. And that's why Pollard got the carries he got and the success he got, too. When they're playing that I used to say back in the 90s when the Cowboys with Emmitt Smith and that offensive line would play a 3-4 defense, just go right after those outside linebackers. Because they're there to rush the quarterback, right? Make them play the run. And the Cowboys expose that time and time again with some of his outside stuff that he can do better than Zeke.
Right.
Zeke is hitting between the tackles and had a
boy,
really
he
good
was
day.
hitting
There
it.
was some power there,
Yes,
right?
it was.
And then
That's when those guards are kicking butt.
And then you give them the changeup.
The bubble
right?
was not burst.
Yeah, the changeup's not a slow pitch. This one's fast.
That's right.
and it worked perfectly. They rushed for 198 yards. It's the most yards rushing since they went for 223 in the season finale in 2019. So, yeah, they had it going, and they kept them off balance, too.
So
and I
Zeke
think
had
that
over-
helped dull their pass rush because now all of a sudden they got to worry about something else.
And Bosa, he could not handle that. He could not handle our tackles in a run situation.
Right.
Because they were blowing him off the ball. He kept trying to go around. Just like you were talking about the skinny ass.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like that. Well, he looked like a skinny ass when he was trying to go around Steele and trying to go around Tyrod. It's just not going to work.
So I don't think we got a running back controversy. I think you've got a two-back
They
system.
always try to do
I know
this.
you got a two-back system now. And people now have to worry when they see Powell. And they early in the game they ran a couple of two-backs too. They were both there at the same time. And one guy would go out in the pass pattern, the other guy played running.
What
back.
was Zeke's numbers?
He was
71 rushing.
He had
16 carries
for 71.
What about receiving?
And then
2 for 26. He got he maybe had more than that because I'm not sure if I factored in the 14 yards he got on the last play of the first
yeah,
half.
I'm not sure how they.
It was he got at
Is that
halftime.
receiving yards or is that rushing?
That's right. It was receiving yards. I'm sorry. That's
If a
receiving
pitch
yards.
would be receiving yards?
Yeah, that's receiving yards. Yeah. So that tacks on to the receiving yardage. At halftime, he had no receptions for 14 yards.
So they combined for 5 catches for 27 yards.
So he got over 100.
So total yards.
Basically, we got 100.
So and I think it just kept him off balance. So and that helps the next game, right? Philadelphia's got to worry about.
They don't know
Pollard
how you're going to study. Yeah, which one you're going to study for? Because one's a quick hitter and the other one's all power.
So they combine rushing wise. They combined 29 carries for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. You'll take that out of your running game, whether
who's doing it.
It doesn't matter who's doing it. That's right.
As long as it ain't the quarterback
either. Right?
As long as it ain't the quarterback.
That's right. And with the additional games in 17 game season and so forth, you want to keep them both healthy, and that's the trend all around the league is to have more than one running back. I mean, maybe Tennessee might be the only team that just goes with the one.
Too. He's just in one.
So don't minimize what Zeke did in this game.
Right.
And he almost made
you need both of them.
Spectacular play there at the end of the half.
Guys, we talked about Adderley. He played some ball yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He made some big plays. He almost made
That's
the
going
biggest
for
play
a
in the end
touchdown,
zone.
right?
Yes.
Especially when he dove and he was smart enough to go up in the air.
That's right.
Because if you leave and you just get the ball across before you land, he came within 3 yards.
All right, Trayvon
Diggs, He's on a pace of interception a game.
Hey, was that a hell of a pick?
That's
that's
pretty.
a pick. That's not luck. That's no tip. He saw it and he went for it. That's what we talked about.
It was like a diving reception.
He jumped it. He knew what was happening. He didn't wait for anything. He was aggressive for it, knowing where the quarterback wants to throw the ball.
Covering one of the best receivers in the league, Keenan Allen.
That was a great battle. That was a great battle.
Allen had 4 catches for 108, but one of them was 42 yards.
Yeah.
Where they just lost him. I don't know what they were doing. They had a couple plays, like the one that got called back.
Yeah.
This guy's 20 yards downfield all by himself.
Touchdown. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What?
And I don't know
what are the safeties doing?
I don't know why Diggs let up on Allen. If you keep running, that is another interception for you.
Right.
And I did it too. Especially as a rookie, you just kind of.
You're thinking the play's away and they aren't coming your way.
And you're not supposed to do that. You have to be on point at all times. And that one moment, it just takes that one moment of.
And he got a fingertip on it, didn't he?
Still got it. Yeah. He still touched it.
Yeah.
And that, I believe that was a cover too, because he trailed the entire time. So I'm assuming the safety was over the top because he was over the top.
Sort of what happened to Anthony Brown.
But he wasn't. Well, he was.
He was trailing and he got no help.
Right.
No Everson, if you got a fingertip on it, would you catch it?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I always wanted to go up, just like a rebound. Give me those 2 hands. I'm gonna fight you off. It's a fight for the ball. I'm not gonna be trying to do all that with one hand. I didn't go to OU. I just went to Grambling.
So they have now.
Then he's talking about DJ Graham with the interception of the year.
That's
that was the dumbest interception of the year. But go ahead.
So they've got.
Go ahead, Spags. I'm not listening to Bill.
They've got 4 interceptions. They got 4 interceptions in 2 games. Last year, they didn't get the 4th interception until the 11th game.
Whoa!
And it's not just that they're getting interceptions. I mean, that was the best right now, the play of the year for us. It really was. That saved the touchdown. It was Casey. That's how you say his name.
Casey. Crazy Casey.
Yeah. Well, my choir teacher was Kazee. She spelled it the same way. But no, that to me right now, that's just the play of the year so far.
And he gets the interception in the end zone.
In the end zone. I mean, that saved us.
Which is another could have been touchdown, right?
That's right?
Here's the other thing. They're acquiring players with a history
of making plays.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, Diggs, there's a reason Diggs can catch the football.
They
watch his brother play?
Oh, yeah. They call Casey. They call him some kind of ball hawk or something.
He had 7 picks one year.
He has a nickname. He has some kind of nickname out there. So you're right. And I let me eat crow a little bit because, of course, when they brought in Casey and Curse and all those guys with the injured Achilles and all that, I'm like, man, what are these bums doing here?
Keanu O'Neal.
Yeah, O'Neal. These guys they're balling.
Yeah, right.
They're stepping in and doing what they're supposed to do to show you how to play this defense.
So they're
leading by example.
In 2 games, they've got 6 takeaways. They got the 6th takeaway last year in the 8th game. So, and that was one of their problems, right? Dalton, at the end of the year, they started getting them.
They started
now it's
starting
to continue. And you know what? The other guy that was sort of, I think, an unsung hero at that side of the ball was J-Ron Curse.
I have him right here, buddy.
I expected him to be like a special teams guy. But boy,
he can play.
And
he was my unsung star last week.
They created a spot for him. If you look at the starting lineup, he started. They only had 2 linebackers out there. They've been playing him like a big linebacker in the slot.
He's way better than that. He's much more than that. I see him as a free safety.
Well, but he's versatile enough where he can play in the box or he can play back in.
His line was 6 combined tackles. He had a tackle for a loss, a quarterback hit, and 1 pass defense, and he should have had an interception.
You see how many tackles he had last week?
Come on, guys.
Yeah, he was up there.
He had
too,
11
right?
tackles last week. He had 40 snaps on against Tampa. He had 40 snaps on defense and 21 on special teams.
I'm keeping my eye on this guy, man. I am definitely keeping my eye on this guy. He's our Wilson.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, this
he played
game,
just as well as Wilson did for us last year.
He only missed 4 defensive. No, that was KZ. Curse. 69 of 71 snaps, 97%.
There you go. So that's because Donovan Wilson wasn't there.
Right. And he's but they started they had KZ, Hooker, and Curse out there first for the starters.
So they're taking Jordan Lewis off the field?
No.
So who?
They were playing Jordan Lewis. It was kind of a big dime.
Right. Mm-hmm. So who are the linebackers?
The majority of it was.
No, I'm talking starters.
Oh, starters.
Did you get the starters?
Yeah, it was Van Der Esch and Smith.
Okay.
They only listed three. Well, they listed 3 defensive linemen, but Parsons was probably
right. Parsons was one of them.
So the majority of the game, it was Van Der Esch and Jalen at the linebacker. When they went to the nickel, at times Jalen would come out and Keanu Neal came in, and sometimes Neal was in and Jalen Smith stayed in instead of Van Der Esch. They kind of rotated.
So the 5 DBs they had on the field to start the game:
Lewis, Casey, Curse,
Lewis,
Diggs.
Lewis didn't start.
There you go. So Curse was in Lewis's spot
so
to
they
start
listed,
the game.
They basically listed 3 safeties and 2 corners.
Yeah. So Jordan Lewis was not on the field to start the game.
Right.
But
right.
I mean,
he played in the slot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He was out. Let's see.
I love what they're doing with it.
I'm trying. Lewis had 72% of the snaps.
Okay.
So he was out there.
Before I know we gotta go, but you talked about Curse, how he played. That interception just really would have topped off an excellent game.
Right.
Was that the horrible call that I thought it was?
Yes. I was like,
I don't understand.
What did he do?
I don't understand why they would make that call. And I was so mad at Romo yesterday because he kept co-signing bad calls. Mm-hmm. And then even when they held Van Der Esch coming through, I don't know. You don't know. The man grabbed him in his ear hole and slung him down, and he seemed to be so forgiving to these referees in one of the worst ref games I think I've ever seen.
So how much is it on Romo's mind that he's a Cowboy when he's broadcasting?
He's trying not to overcompensate. Well, he ended up overcompensating.
It's a natural thing.
And right. Aikman went through the same thing.
Aikman did the same.
I don't know. Aikman never seemed to like the Cowboys when he.
Well, that's probably
he was overcompensating, right? And by the way,
making sure that he's not,
Here's my last mix shot. Van Der Esch's. I'm glad I stuttered.
There you go, Chris. Don't miss it. He ain't missing nothing.
I thought it was a purposeful.
No, it wasn't. Van Der Esch's sack. That was their first one of the year.
Yeah.
So it took them 88 minutes to get a sack. And then they ended up with just 2 in the game. Is that right?
And they barely got credited with the second one, but we're going to take it from my man Parsons.
Absolutely.
My man Micah. All right, that does it for Mix Shots. We got so much more to talk about.
We do.
Yes,
tomorrow
we do.
at 1:30 here on Mix Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!